Presentation by Samuel Whitby, investigating an interesting engineering individual, Dr. Richard J. Gatling. Richard Gatling was born in 1818 on his father's plantation in Hertford County, North Carolina. He was one of 6 siblings, having 3 brothers and 2 sisters. His father, Jordan Gatling, was a cotton farmer and somewhat of an inventor. He was involved in the development of machines designed for planting and thinning cotton. Jordan Gatling passed on that talent of inventing and engineering to his sons, including Richard. In the earlier years of his life, Richard was briefly appointed as the headmaster of a local school, but his true passion was invention. One of his first attempts at an invention was when he tried to develop a patent for the design of a screw propeller to replace the paddle boat wheels of the era. But he found out that the Scandinavian-American inventor, John Ericsson, had beat him to it with an almost identical design. Richard got his first successful patent in 1839 for a rice seed planter. After this achievement, he moved to St. Louis, Missouri, and adapted the rice planter design for a wheat planter, which made a significant impact on Midwestern wheat cultivation. When he was 27, Gatling went on a business trip, and during the trip he contracted smallpox. When he was unable to receive medication for nearly 2 weeks and nearly died from his illness. Fortunately, he did eventually recover, and because of this experience, he decided to pursue the study of medicine. He received his physician's diploma in 1850, but never actually ended up practicing medicine. In that same year, he moved to Indianapolis. There, he developed more agricultural inventions, such as a hemp seed breaking machine, and, in 1857, the steam plow. When the Civil War began in 1861, Richard visited a train station where dead or injured troops were being returned from the front lines. He noticed that only about 1 out of 3 of the soldiers had been shot. The rest had mostly contracted diseases. This gave Gatling the idea for his most famous invention, the Gatling gun. His principle behind it was that if there was a weapon that could fire many rounds very rapidly, effectively doing the job of many soldiers, there would not be as great a need for large armies, thus reducing casualties overall. With good intentions at heart, he began developing the Gatling gun. Based loosely on his seed planting devices he had designed previously, the Gatling gun had a hand crank that rotated multiple barrels into a firing position. The rotating collection of barrels reduced heat generated by the rapid fire rate. Earlier models featured 6 barrels, but would later be increased to 10. A lock and cam mechanism loaded rounds into each barrel and cocked them before landing in the firing position. Each barrel also had its own firing mechanism, which was unique to the Gatling gun. With all these features and many more, the Gatling gun was capable of firing 200 rounds per minute, a significant leap of efficiency and lethality when compared to the firearms of the era. Gatling obtained the patent and started the Gatling Gun Company in 1862. Although Richard had invented the Gatling gun for use in the Civil War, it was not recorded being used by the military until the last year of the war, in 1865. The U.S. military officially purchased Gatling guns in 1866. As president of the Gatling Gun Company, Richard's final contribution to the design before selling the company to Colt was a mechanized 1893 version that used an electric motor instead of a hand crank. After selling his company to Colt, Gatling moved back to St. Louis, Missouri, where he spent the later years of his life starting a new company for producing his steam plows, or tractors as we would call them today. While conducting business and visiting his daughter in New York, Gatling died at age 84 in his daughter's house on February 26, 1903. Dr. Richard Gatling was a man who could see problems and felt compelled to invent solutions. With a total of 48 patents over his lifetime for things such as the Gatling gun, the steam plow, the wheat drill, and the hemp breaking machine, to name a few, he left behind a legacy of innovation and the ability to identify a need and engineer a proper solution.